or should have for an effective ship. And then you get into things like energy usage, movement capability. So we're going to start, and all ships are going to need certain things to start. For instance, all ships are going to need a command center. So we're going to put that on, and that will remove one of the warnings up here. Needs a reactor component. So we'll come up here, and we'll add just one for now. Now when I add to that reactor component, you'll see over here it gives me a power output of 60, and I'm currently using 2 energy statically, and that's just for the command center that I've got on. As I add things, I might have to add more fission reactors to be able to balance this energy. Fuel storage, so let's add, and we'll need more than one, but again I'm going to start with just one for now. It's a colony ship, so it needs a colony module. We'll add one of those. Each colony module gives population of allows me to transport 30 million population. I'll probably stick with just that for now, but we'll see how large this ship ends up being. Habitation and life support modules are needed for all ships, and you need a number of those based on the size of the ship. And we're going to just add these until the warning goes away. Okay, there went the warning for life support. We're going to need the same number of HAP modules, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Okay, each colony ship must have a name. This is a civilian colony ship. We'll call it the Eden for the design. It also needs engines and directional thrusters, and that's the last things that are absolutely required. So we're going to add ion thruster, directional thruster. We'll add one of each. Now over here in the movement, you can see what that does. Each one does. Based on the mass of the ship, oops, it's in its autosave mode. One moment. Based on the mass of the ship, the ion thruster has a certain thrust capability or capacity. The larger the ship, the less effective it can be. A given thruster type is going to be, as you can tell. I have an impulse slow speed of 3, a cruise and sprint speed of 1. That's not nearly fast enough. It's hardly fast enough to catch up to a planet that's moving in orbit of a star. So we're going to add some more ion thrusters to get up at least a somewhat respectable speed. And as we add more, it becomes bigger. It requires more habitation and life support. That's fine. We'll balance those later. Cruise speed is what I'm worried about for ships like this, freighters and whatnot. I'm not worried about sprint. I'm not worried about impulse. To move at speed 9, it's going to cost 16 energy, which is fine. Our fission reactor is still sufficient there. Now our turn rate is 6 degrees per second, so in order to turn 360 degrees it would take a full minute. I don't know if I'm going to get it much better than that without adding a ton of components. I'm going to try to get it to 10 degrees if I can. 10 degrees per second takes just over half a minute to turn a full circle. The worst I usually would need a colony ship to do is 180 degrees to get out of harm's way. So that's still fairly significant, but it's just such a massive ship, we're not going to be able to get much better. Now the other thing is it can't leave the star system without a hyperdrive system, so we're going to add one of those. And this is where fission reactors are going to, or our reactor system is going to come into play. So we added that. We need to add another life support and HAB, obviously. One of each will get rid of all our warnings. So we have a ship that is capable of traveling through the stars now. Its cruise speed dropped down to 8 because of the added mass, which is probably sufficient. I don't know that we need much. But if we take a look at the Garrix hyperdrive, which is our current technology, it's got a max speed capability of 12,500. Our current capability is only 5,700. We don't have enough energy to do that, so we're going to add another fission reactor and try to bump that up. And that works. That boosts up the max speed of 12,500, which means you'll be able to move as fast as needed. For a colony ship, I'm not sure that that's really required, though. It doesn't need to I'm going to pull that back off. I don't want the extra weight, mass, and component cost. Now, each of these components have a material cost, and all of the mining ships and mining stations that I have out there are what's pulling those materials in. If we take a look here, we can see the complete cost in both base materials, which is the bottom, base resources, silicon, gold, polymers, iridium, helium, steel, lead, hydrogen, and carbon fiber in these quantities. For every colony ship, I need that much of materials. Now, as I added components, that list grew. Those components are then used in turn to build the subcomponents, to build the individual thrusters, to build the hyperdrive, etc., etc. So as long as I have a source of all of these materials, I'll be able to build my colony ships. So we don't need to worry about weapons, obviously, for a colony ship. Now, the other thing I will do, is I'm going to consider throwing some armor and shields on, just to be able to absorb some initial, if it flies into an area that becomes hostile, while it's in the process of putting the colony down. So I'm going to add at least a little bit of armor. The armor will absorb the initial hits, and if we add even one shield, I'm going to just leave it with the armor, I think. I'll put as much on as I can without requiring more HAB, so we'll leave it at that. It gives us 190 armor. We're researching improved armor tech right now. You just missed my explanation of building ship design. We'll be doing some more ship design here in a little bit. As soon as I get my next ship size component, which we're in the process of researching right now, we'll be redesigning some more ships. Anyway, we just designed our first colony ship. So we're going to save that design. We're not going to build any more ships yet, other than the colony ships. We're not going to pay for another colony location. We've got plenty of colonies. Now the next thing I need to do is select a planet to colonize. Let's see what we've got here. We've got two that we're going to colonize right away. Outside of our current system, but we can only build one colony ship at a time. Let's see which one we're going to... okay, that one's already got a pirate base on it, partially complete. That one's got a pirate base fully complete. So I think what we're going to do is come down here. They got 768 million on an 88 quality planet. This one is a 97 quality planet with, how many? 1.2 billion. Yeah, we want to colonize this planet first. So we're going to build a colony ship and colonize there. It's going to take some time. In the meantime, we're going to keep our second fleet defending this this planet and this system. We have boarded and captured the mining station. Okay, my first fleet's been active. I've got this mining station, which, excuse me, gives us access back to steel, gold, and lead. Another source of those. Okay, I think I am going to keep the first fleet on attack and nearby systems. I'm going to take a look and see where some of these ships are headed. We've got a long-range sensor in this system here. So we're seeing a lot of activity in this little white bubble of space. And we see some enemies going in different directions. Let's see, we've got ships coming down here. Okay, they're trying to take control of the colony. What do we have here? We have a frigate. Don't we have a... so that's where our hidden space station is. Oh, who's purple? Another pirate faction. There's a lot of pirate factions in this game. If we open the this again, no, wrong one. Diplomacy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 empire races we know about right now. All the rest of these are pirates. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pirate factions that we know about as well, compared to 8 empire factions. So right now the and when at the start of this game, pirates already have warp drive technology. None of the empires do, other than the ancient guardians. So the pirates start out as a very strong, in a very strong position. They, however, cannot build colonies like the empires can, at least not initially, and it takes them a heck of a lot to be able to build colonies for pirates. So they eventually lose their strength, but they start out in a very strong manner, which is why right now all of our fighting is with the pirates, and starts out quite tough in this type of build. Now, where is... okay, my space... there's my space station. And my cloaked star base right there with the long-range scanners on it. That's what's allowing me to see ships passing through this area. Like I said, lots of pirates, and it looks like they're going to try to capture a colony down there. We need to finish our high-tech construction so we can do some more ship designs and improve the size and capability of our ships. Got ships requiring refueling. Got a ship under attack. Yeah, you guys probably need to... what frigates? What do I have them set for as far as state ships? Frigates, manually upgrade. We've got them set to flee when their shields drop to 50%. Okay, that's good. So he should be trying to flee momentarily because one, he's outnumbered 15 to 1 or something like that, and he's not going to be able to. He's going to get tractored. Oh well. I'll lose some individual ships. Okay, they want me to assign an intel. Now, the other nice thing about this, yes, I have played Endless Space a little bit. Endless Space is turn-based, if I recall correctly. It's very similar, except this has got a real-time component to it. I've also been watching their build of the new Endless Legends, I think. I'm keeping an eye on that build as well from the same company. Okay, the nice thing about this game, the other nice thing about this game, let me open up my Empire Policy screen here. There's a lot of potential for micromanagement in the game, but it's got a fairly robust AI as well, and if you don't want to handle certain features of the game, you can actually set certain things under AI control. I'm not sure. I've watched a couple of the pre-release alpha builds on YouTube, and it's something to keep an eye on. Yeah. There's a couple, I think Quill, was it Quill 18 or Pew Pew Choo Choo that did a 11 or 10 or 11 episode series on YouTube on it. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Anyway, I was talking about you could micromanage everything in this game, or you can turn certain things over to the AI. For instance, right now I have treaties. You can either fully automate it, let the AI do all of your treaties. You can control them all manually, micromanage everything, or you can do what I do, middle ground, and let them suggest treaties and let you decide whether or not to act on those suggestions or not. You can do the same thing for most of the things in the game. You can set it to where the only thing you do is research and design of ships, and let the AI handle all of the diplomacy, all of the war, all of the colonization, all of the troops, everything else. You can micromanage as little or as much as you want, and the AI is not terrible. It's not great in some areas, but it's certainly not terrible for a game of this magnitude. Yes, I noticed that. I didn't play Endless Space that much. I haven't. I go back to it every now and then. You read the profile down below, you'll see that I'm involved in a ton of different games, different game styles, from RTS to... I really like the Space 4X. I've got most of the Space 4X that have come out, and I play a lot of those. Yeah, I've never actually played multiplayer on it, so something I'd like to do sometime. Of course, I'd like to do that with a couple of the different games. Sins of Solar Empire would be another one that I would want to play multiplayer. Yeah, I've always loved the genre. Really looking forward to both Star Citizen and Elite, and here in the next week or so, Elite goes to beta with a significant chunk of space available for exploration. I've been in the alpha for a while, but I haven't done a lot with it. I'll be streaming some of that when it goes beta here in a week or so. Yep. Okay, so intelligence mission, steal the territory map of the Bloody Mercenaries. No, we've already done that. Let's Grimfang Authority. I don't think I'm worried about them. They have 10 ships and 350 more firepower, so I'm not going to pay their extortion fee. Retro ships and bases, not yet. We'll worry about that here when we finish the next ship size, which we're 75% done. The only thing this game is lacking is multiplayer, but the size and scope of it doesn't allow for it. Now, as I said earlier, they're putting out their 4th and final expansion to this game here in a couple days, after which point they will be starting to work on Distant Worlds 2. And I don't know, with any luck, maybe they will be able to put get a multiplayer component in it. Oh, space monsters. What's up here? A Kaltor. A space scorpion. Yeah, you'll be able to get away from that. I think I've missed a few things here. Let's take a quick look at our log. Got a character promotion. Poor tactician, great. Ships requiring refueling, recharge, breakthrough. I have a feeling I missed some things. Let's take a look at our exploration ships. Yep, there's a couple with no mission, so... I don't know, there's about 30 or so different resources in the game, 30 to 40 different resources in the game, about half of which are luxury resources and half of which are strategic resources required for building your ships and whatnot, star bases and things. So I've got everything nearby. What's your fuel? Okay, we're going to go ahead and have you refuel. And that one, like I said, there's 1,400 stars in this game, and stars can have, like this one has 0 planets around it, up to 8 or 10 different planets, and each planet has 0 to 3 moons. So there's a lot of potential bodies for exploration. That doesn't include asteroids and things like that. We're going to start going out that way. That's all of our exploration ships busy. We have a construction ship not doing anything. We need to rebuild a couple. We've lost a couple bases, mining bases here. So let's see if we can get some of those rebuilt. That looks like a good place to build a gas mining station. The fact that you can pause this allows you to really keep up with things when there's a lot of different things going on. Okay, that is Fleet 2, it looks like, requiring refueling. And it looks like some repair as well. I really don't want to pull them out. We'll have to move Fleet 1 down there while Fleet 2 goes for repair. Okay, pirates secretly funded to attack an empire. Our intelligence network have uncovered covert arrangements of the Ancient Guardians. Our Ancient Guardians have made a secret deal with the pirate faction, the Dread League, to attack the ships and bases of the Bloody Mercenaries. We can warn them, or we can allow them to continue. Since we're fighting the Bloody Mercenaries ourselves, we're certainly not going to warn the Bloody Mercenaries about it. We'll keep the information to ourselves. Okay, in the meantime, we'll take a look at our summary screen here. This is our military spending. This is basically our state money. And then you've got the private sector. Again, you've got no control over the private sector, or very little control over the private sector. There are some things you can do to limit their capabilities, but I generally just let them go about their thing. I do design their own ships to make sure they're not conflicting in resources with my military ships and ports. But we have a total income of 107k a month. We've got 5k of bonus income from the resorts that we are running. Our ship maintenance costs us 69,000, and we're paying we've paid 8,000 so far to the pirates for protection. We're paying off one pirate faction right now just to not have too many at our throats. So we're doing okay there. Research is going along well. Our fleet's going off for repair and refuel. And is that an escort? No, that's a destroyer. Our destroyers don't appear to be much of a match. Well, no, it appears we're equally matched with the destroyers of that particular pirate faction, actually. And it looks like we've hurt them a couple times now. We've got races starting to give us money, too, which means our relationships with some of the races are starting to improve. We're not building new ships until we get our new ship size and some new designs put down. Grim Industries, no, we're not going to pay your protection fee. Fearsome Outlaws, what do they look like? They have 9 ships only, so we're not going to pay your protection fee either. You can quickly run yourself broke by paying off all the pirates. I did that in the last game. It's like there were so many pirates so close around me that I ended up paying way too many protection fees and completely bankrupted myself. So I'm paying a lot more attention to that this time. We want to keep our sensors. Ship captain has appeared at the frigate. Ship captain has smuggling, evasion, and weapons range increase skills of unknown amounts. He's untested. Skill levels and traits are unknown. It's the first time I've seen that trait in a long time. We won't know anything until he actually gets involved in combat. Okay, we're about 90% through our next ship size, and we have boarded a ship. Let's see what it looks like and see if we want to just scrap it. It's got Epsilon torpedoes, which we have now. Anyway. Garrick's hyperdrive combat targeting system, basic array fission reactors, thrust vectors. It doesn't look like it has anything we don't have. So I think we're just going to scrap that ship. Otherwise it's just going to cost us money. It's damaged, which means we'd have to repair it. We could retrofit it, I guess. Make it equivalent to our existing designs, but we're just going to retire it. I don't think it can move anywhere. Oh, it does have some movement capability. And in the meantime, we're exploding more of their ships. I should have my fleet in here momentarily. Now that one's probably not a fair fight, an escort versus a frigate. But I have my fleet moving down, so maybe it'll tie him up long enough to allow the main fleet to get in. We're still building some ships. Now we'll take a look at the Empire comparison screen again. This is your victory condition screen overall. I'm on top right now. Victory conditions are broken into various categories: economy, population, territory, and then racial specific in the red. Each race has their own specific victory conditions, and once you get 80% and the proper amount of years have passed, in this case I have it set up for a minimum of 50 years of runtime. We've played 18, we're in year 18 right now. I have it set up for a minimum of 50 years of runtime before the victory conditions can be achieved. Or you can achieve victory by completely wiping out all of your opposition and whatnot. With 19 races, empires in this game, that won't happen. So we're significantly far ahead in the overall victory conditions anyway. Escort completed its mission. What was your mission? You are not part of a fleet, so you should be on automatic. I'm not building new ships. Again, you can see advisors popping up information over here in the top right corner. We urge you to join with our dynamic economy and a free trade agreement. Okay, we're starting to get free trade agreements. I have been playing it on and off since it came out. There are things that I will put on YouTube. When Universe comes out in a couple days, I might do a YouTube series. I did that with a lot of my Paradox games. Crusader Kings, more of the Europa Universalis 4. I have a couple long-term YouTube videos. I played an entire a pair of an entire games in Europa Universalis 4 that got hosted up on YouTube. I didn't break them down into small chunks. I put them up in the full 2 hour. I don't have very many YouTube subs. Most of my viewers are usually live, and I see a few more people have popped in. Welcome, everybody. I only have about a dozen or so subs on YouTube. Most people don't like the 2 hour episodes that I tend to throw up on, like I said, my Europa Universalis 4. I generally ran 5-6 hours a day and threw them up in 3 2-hour chunks. And the second one was really popular because I actually had viewers playing advisors in the game. And when Wealth of Nations comes out, here in the near future, a new expansion for Europa Universalis 4. I'll probably do the same thing with that one. That one picked up a lot of interest, and the fact that I had active viewers participating in the game made it interesting. Universe comes out in 2 days. I'll probably for this. I did more of that with both Europa Universalis and this, and some of the other games that I've done, just to advertise the game. There's not a lot of people that know about this game. Although it just with the release of Universe here in a couple days, they've got their first first game on the Steam platform. Universe will be released on Steam in a couple days, so you can find Distant Worlds Universe on Steam now. Now we're not retrofitting. I think we just completed. Yes. Okay. Oops. It just automatically designed things. I clicked the wrong button. So we're going to go into ship design again here. First, we're going to set up our research for energy and construction. So we've got advanced nuclear fission. We probably want to go to the improvements to. Now here you can see some technology I cannot get because I don't have the proper race. Certain races have certain technologies that are unique to them. So I can't get these different types of reactors or shields. I went with the improved fission reactor. I'll probably also improve my hyperdrives and my... oh, Lord, I don't even have... Scratch that. Back up. Cancel. Cancel. I don't have proton thrusters yet, my lord. Or thrust vectors. I need to get the basic non-startup engines out, I guess. Okay, so we've got a couple things queued up here for our research. So we'll go back into ship design. I think you missed most of my last ship design, so we're going to come in here. And we're going to take a look at what did we just research? I forget. Ship size. Okay, so we can make bigger ships now, which will be better. Obviously, bigger ships are better, usually. We'll take a look at our state ships, and we'll start with the destroyers, and we'll build from there. And I'm going to take, and you can either start a new one from scratch by adding the new ship type, and if I wanted a different type of ship, and it's got an autosave, 30-minute autosave feature which just kicked in, if I wanted to build a different type of destroyer, for instance a missile destroyer and a beam destroyer, then that's what I would do. I tend not to do that. I just use a different ship class for different weapon types. So we're going to copy that as a new type. So it'll take the existing design and put all of those items over here already populating. And because I can make bigger ships, I can basically throw more weapons on it. Right now the ship has a firepower of 42, and we want to improve that for a destroyer, and also improve the defenses and whatnot. You know what? Scratch this. Scratch this. Scratch this. We're going to start from scratch. I think you missed the last one, so... Yeah, I'd have to get into video editing in order to cut certain segments out, and I haven't done that. I might do that for this. Again, as I get people interested in things, I start putting ideas together for things like strategies and whatnot. And if I had enough people interested, I could certainly put a strategy segment together. I'd have to have an existing game that I could go into and work that. I certainly might do that if I had enough interest in it. Okay, so we're going to design a new ship from scratch. It's going to be a destroyer. So we'll start there. Well, I've seen a lot of the I've watched a lot of the Total Biscuit videos. That's what got me into a couple of. That's what got me into Path of Exile, actually. I think he was the first one that I'd seen. Yes, I have seen that. I have seen that series. I said that's actually what got me into the Path of Exile game, which I've been streaming on and off for a couple of years now. Is that caught my attention from him. Okay, so we have a destroyer. I've got options for how to attack weaker and stronger opponents. Against stronger opponents, standoff is good because we will have some long-range capability here. Against weaker opponents, we'll wade in with all weapons capable. Invasion or not to invade, the destroyers are not going to have any invasion capability. And flee when shields are 20%. These are going to be some of my heavier ships for this stage of the game. And I'm going to assume you missed my entire colony ship build. So up in the top left is your size, your role, and attacking basic attack strategy. Top center is a listing of all the components and warnings that you need to have and should are recommended to have. On the left center is a list of all your current components you can put on ships. Right now I have it set to only the latest components researched. I could put older components on if I needed to save certain types of resources, but I'm not worried about that right now. In the center is a list of all the components currently in the build, and then on the bottom is your defensive and offensive capabilities, and on the right is your movement, which we'll get into, your energy input and output, and cargo capacity type stuff. So this is a combat ship. It's going to be a destroyer. So it's my Cast-Off's military ship, CMS, and it's a destroyer. So the name's going to start with DE. It's what allows me to keep my ship types in mentally in order. So we'll call it the Descartes. Okay, so all the warnings have to be taken into account. First thing it needs is a command center. Ship cannot operate without a command center, so we will put one of those on. It also needs a reactor, and right now the only reactor that I have worth anything is the fission, so we'll put one on. And we're going to put one of each on until I start fleshing things out. It also needs habitation and life support. It cannot operate without them. So, and we're going to need a few of each of these. We know that, so we're going to go ahead and put those on. Next thing I'm going to put on is my shields. Let's see, we've got, next thing will be the fuel cell. And I don't know, I've been doing some studying of the forums of this, and the order that they're in the list is evidently the order that they are built and repaired should they be damaged. So you're going to need certain things operational first. That's why I put the command center in. Without a command center, nothing else on the list matters. Nothing else will work. That's why I put the fission reactor second, as it will start producing energy for the rest of the components. So as long as you have those and they're in good working order, everything else behind them should start working. I'm going to add the fuel cells next, and then some shielding. So at this point, anything else beyond it, I won't have any weapons, I can't fire, I won't have any engines, I can't move if they're damaged. But as long as all of these are intact, it at least has some defenses and can hold out against an attack until the other items are in play. So we're going to go ahead and put these on, and the same thing with armor, I guess. And after this, everything else starts just filling out your movement and attack capability. Now it is a destroyer. We're going to want combat targeting system. And do I have a countermeasure system? I don't know if I've researched countermeasures yet. Doesn't look like I have. We'll add a med center, and then we'll start with our engines. Didn't realize I didn't have engines yet. Okay, so we'll add engine, directional thruster. I missed my hyperdrive. Oops. Let's back up. I want my hyperdrive first. Hyperdrive, then the shield and armor, so it can at least get out of trouble. Okay, then the armor. Okay, now we'll put our combat targeting system on. If we had countermeasures, we'd add that too. We don't have them right now. We'll add a med center, and then we'll add our engines. Now I'm researching the improved engines, so as soon as those new engines and directional thruster capability is researched, I'll be retrofitting this ship. In fact, I'll be retrofitting all of my ship types again when those new engines come online. They're much more efficient at movement and turn radius and whatnot. Okay, and then we'll go with weapons. So after all the basics are in, we can go with our weapons, and then we'll flesh out based on size available, balancing offense and defense and movement. Okay, I think we'll go with torpedoes here. Now we'll take a look. Each torpedo does 11 damage and has a range of 300. Now we can compare that with the concussion missiles, which have a much higher range but half the damage. The other thing is the energy used. A missile takes 18 energy, whereas a torpedo takes 30 energy. Neither of them can do bombard damage. Missiles are less effective against armor, however. The fire rate is slightly higher for the torpedoes as well. Speed of the torpedoes is slower right now. I'll eventually be researching tech to improve the capability of the torpedoes. Now, the other thing is the torpedoes are half again as large. We'll stick with the missiles until I improve my torpedo capability. So we're going to add 10 missiles. That's a 194, and then we'll add some beam capability as well. I only have one beam weapon right now. Okay, that gives us a firepower of 120. Now, that might come down at our final build. That's already a size of 244. We have a max ship size of about 300 or so. So we'll keep that in mind. Now it says consider adding troop module components. Let's take a look at what the troop modules do. They have the capacity of 100 troops each. Basic living facilities for combat troops while on board a ship or base. Basically, these are offensive or defensive Marines. If you look over here, I have a boarding defense strength of 125. That's based on the crew size of the ship, as well as troop components. If I add a troop component, oops, okay, I take that back. It has nothing to do with defense strength. That's strictly crew size based on the habitation modules. So if I add a hab module, my troop boarding defense strength goes up. Troops, I guess, are, let's see, go back to the Standard troop compartment, show component guide. Higher troop storage technology provides extra capacity, allowing for more troops to be killed transported on a ship or base. Okay. I'm going to guess that's more for planetary assaults then, the troop components, which I'm going to design a specific ship for that, not worried about the smaller military ships anyway. Once I get into cruisers and capital ships, I'll probably have some troops on those. Okay, so we have our firepower. We need to build up our defense right now. Shields are 240. We're going to bump that up to 480 with a recharge rate of 1.6. I can't affect the recharge rate. I can only affect the total amount of shields on it right now. And we're going to add some more armor. Armor is 50. We want 200 armor. Okay, that gives us a size of 281 right now. But if we take a look over here, okay, let's take a look at a couple things here. Let's look at our energy right now. We don't have an energy collector on it, which means everything we do is going to have to be on fuel that we carry, which we're not carrying much fuel right now. So what we want is an energy collector or two. And that means when we're just sitting still orbiting a base or whatnot, we'll pick up some fuel based on solar energy output. We always want to have a little bit of that. Not a lot necessarily, but we want a little. The other thing is our excess energy output based on our reactor power is only 43 right now. But if we were to fire all of our weapons in a volley, it takes 163 energy to do that. So we don't have near enough energy, which means we need to add some reactor components. Now, I'm researching a improvement to the reactor, but right now we need the excess reactor, and we've hit a warning. Cannot currently build design of this size. Current size is 363, maximum size is 330, so we've got to pull some stuff off. And this is where you start balancing. I'll start by pulling off, let's see, the missiles are 10 each, and the blasters are 5 each. I have a firepower of 120, which is actually pretty hefty for a destroyer. So we're going to pull a couple of these off. That still gives us a 96 firepower. We're still oversized, but we also can pull off one reactor because we're almost twice the excess energy right now. So we can pull one of those off. That gives us excess energy of 163 versus a 131 required. So we're fine there. Now, you might have walked in at the end of this, but if we take a look at the Jerax hyperdrive, it's got a max speed of 12,500. So we always want to make sure our military ships are pretty close to max speed. They don't have to be exactly, but we want them at least pretty close. And I like having all of my military ships that are traveling together in a fleet to have the same hyperspeed so that they all arrive at a combat location simultaneously. So I've tried to keep them pretty close to max. So we're good there. But our overall movement sucks because we only have one engine right now. So we need to bump the engines and turn rate of our ships up by adding some additional engines. Each ion thruster has a max thrust of 600, which there is a formula for trying to figure it out. I just put engines on until I get a cruise and sprint speed that I can live with. And as I add them again, size is going up. We're going to probably have to pull something off to balance these out. Probably a shield, but we'll see. And again, it's a mass versus thrust relationship here. For a destroyer, I probably want about a 17 cruise and a turn rate of 9 to 12. Let's see what we can get. cruise of 17. Now this will go up a little bit as I lighten the ship. Again, we're oversized by quite a bit, 60 points oversized, so we'll have to pull some stuff off, which means these speeds will go up. The other thing is we only have a range of 1.12 sectors. We need more fuel cells on it as well. So we'll add, I want about a 4-sector range. That's 2 sectors out and 2 sectors back is about what I'm looking for my military ships. Looks like I'm going to have to stick with that. So we're 70 oversized, so now we need to start pulling things off. We'll start with 1 shield. And we'll pull some of the armor off as well. They're fairly small. And the rest will probably be in the weapons. And we'll keep an eye on the speed. If the speed jumps up, we'll be able to pull an engine off it, or 2 as well. So we'll pull some armor off. Doesn't save us much, which means we'll go ahead. Again, it is a destroyer, so its total firepower is probably going to be, my current destroyer build is a firepower of about 45, so we're twice that right now. So we can safely pull some of those off. Okay, that pulls us within 30. Let's pull 1 engine off. Excess power, we can maybe pull a reactor off. Excess energy of 103. That might be a little bit too close for comfort, but we'll see. We can pull a ion thruster off and still have an 18 and 21. Now we're 6 over. I need more life support at 6 over. Although once I pull 6 off, I might be under. Our range is still 449, so that hasn't changed. Hyperdrive armor, I can pull 6 armor off. Pull 1 thruster off. That puts us with a turn rate of 10, so it's still 36 seconds to do a full 360-degree circle, but for a destroyer, I can live with that. I guess I'll pull off 4 armor. And it's still going to require life support, so we're still going to have to, well, we can pull 1 armor off to put that on. Okay, that leaves us 10 armor. That's fine. Okay, I think this is what we're going to end up with. My excess energy output is a little bit on the low side. Maybe. But I don't know that I want to add 22 more points and pull 22 points of weapons off, because that's basically what would happen for balancing these. So we have an overall firepower of 72. Shortest range is 220, and that's the Maxos blasters. Longest range is 520, that's the missiles. We have a targeting of 10%. We have a boarding defense of 150. 360 in shields and 100 in armor, and those will go up as I change my increase my technologies. The other thing that'll happen is our speeds will go up when we get our new engines researched, and I retrofit those. So I think, what's the construction summary look like? This is a list of all the materials that are going to be required to build each destroyer, and I don't think I have any issues. Oops. Let's see if we can open this on top. I can't move them around, unfortunately. So, for instance, steel I'm certainly not worried about. Necrostone, 12 each. Let's see what our stocks of Necrostone is. I'm pretty sure I have everything covered here. Necrostone, I have 37,000 in stock. I have 3 sources of Necrostone. That's good. 60,000 Krypton in stock, 2 sources of Krypton. That was the other thing I wasn't entirely sure of. I should be okay here. I think this is a design I'm going to live with. Let's check everything. It's a destroyer. Its stronger opponents is going to stand off and use its missiles, which again, for the concussion missiles, range of 520, that's damage of 6 each. So the firepower would drop to 30. It's about half, a little under half of our firepower at long range. Against weaker opponents, we'll wade in with all of our weapons and take it full advantage of our full firepower. There's no invasion going on. Flee when shields are 20%. Shields are 360, 100 armor, and an overall firepower of 72. The only thing that concerns me is the excess energy output barely covers the excess energy, or the energy for maximum weapon use. So if we take damage, of course, if we take damage, most of the time it's going to come to the weapons anyway. So I think we're going to live with this. We got a name. We're going to save that. So that's designing a ship from scratch. For the frigate, the escort, we're just going to manually upgrade an existing design and change out the components that we need to. And again, this is more a matter of, because we've got an increased size, we can increase the capability a little bit. Again, 330 for a destroyer, so we're going to go ahead for this one. Against stronger opponents, again, we're going to stand off. Against weaker opponents, we're not going to worry about invading. These are going to flee at 50% shields, and the same thing for the escorts. The only thing we're really going to do here, we're going to change these from concussion missiles to the Epsilon torpedoes. Overall firepower is 30. And we want about a 270 overall size for this class. That's what I usually aim at. Range is 330 for the Epsilon and 220 for the Maxos. We'll go with another Epsilon. And shields are good. Armor, I'm going to add a little bit more armor. It's going to require a habit of life support. And that still gives us a little bit of room. Excess energy is 108 versus 70. We're good there. This one, since frigates are going to be attending all of our fleets, we're going to put a proximity array on the frigate class. That means as enemy ships flee, the frigates will have a chance to track them and direct the fleet into the correct direction to track them down if I wanted to continue hunting them down. Our range needs to go up a little bit. Our max hyperspeed is good, and I think my speed I want slightly faster as well. So add a fuel cell. That gives me a range of 4. And cruise and sprint. Okay, we're over the size that I want, so I'll probably pull one torpedo off maybe. Cruise of 21, sprint of 24. Thruster of 10 degrees. We'll pull one torpedo off. 277 is good. Firepower is 51, which is about 2/3 of the destroyer firepower, which is good. Excess energy is good. Now, I could pull a reactor off because I don't need quite that much excess energy, but that would affect my hyperspeed. Drop it by half. Actually, that wouldn't give me enough excess energy anyway for my weapons, so we're going to keep that on. And I think that is it for the frigate. So we've got a 330 size destroyer, a 275-ish size frigate, and we'll have about a 225 to a 250 size escort. And again, it's going to be fairly quick to manually upgrade, and it's going to be more of a I don't know why I had a concussion missile on it. Knife fighter. We'll add one more shield and armor's okay. Speed is okay. Added life support. .205, so I could add a little bit more to it. Excess energy is good. I can add more Maxos. Eventually this will have a different... I don't have an energy collector on this one. I should check that on the frigate as well. I think I had one on the frigate. Single energy collector. And again, the energy collector I like having on the ships just so when they're idling, orbiting a planet, dock, port, whatever, they're not burning fuel. Otherwise they're burning fuel just to keep station on a planet or spaceport. That's enough for them to not burn the fuel, which does get in short supply eventually. Okay, firepower is 42, size is 213, that's good. Excess energy is good, speed is good. And I like these to be slightly faster, and I have a little bit of size room in here for what I wanted, so 27 and 32. And I think that's it for the escort. I don't need to worry about anything else. I haven't designed a cruiser class yet. I'm waiting for a different weapon type. I don't need to worry about anything else. So, okay, we have some new ships designed. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I had a fleet, let's see where the fleets are. Fleet 1 is, Fleet 2 is over here. I'm going to retrofit all of the ships in Fleet 2 first. They're already near the port that can do the retrofitting. Go into my fleet screen, retrofit to latest designs. Now that won't take too long for that to happen. Meantime, Fleet 1, I'm going to come down here and patrol that system, which is where a lot of the combat is taking place and where my first colony ship is going to go. Okay, that took a while to actually redesign those. Well, mainly because we designed that one ship from scratch, just to give you a feel for what the full design was like. And again, you don't have to do any of that. You can let the computer automatically do all of your redesign when new tech comes up. You can have it do all of the design of ships from scratch from the time you first start the game if you wanted to. The drawback of doing that is it might not meet your strategies. If you have certain ways you want to use ships, it might not quite design ships in a way that fits your strategy. So I tend to do my own design. Okay, we've encountered a new empire, the Free Entopia Republic. Now, anytime you meet a new empire, every single time you're going to get an autosave. No, you're going to get our ignorance of your strange alien ways causes us to distrust you, -25 penalty. I can't recall a single time, even when you're the same race, which we are, where that hasn't happened. So you're always going to start out with a negative reputation with a new race that you discover. But let's see, they're the Free Entopia Republic. They're a republic the same as us. They have a satisfactory reputation. They have one colony. We discovered them in one of the stars down here that we just went, and it was probably we just passed, one of their exploration ships, since they only have one colony, and that's obviously down here in Entopia, which they're starting to, okay, that's one of my potential expansion directions being cut off. Okay, no big deal. We also had an attack going on up here. I just left that system. I'll have to get those later. And we got a new weapons research station built, which means where our weapons research potential has increased. We're not building new ships, we just redesigned everything. And we're certainly not building any cruisers, which we haven't designed any of. Okay, we'll wait till Fleet 2 gets retrofitted here. And we can also take a look and see what the status of our colony ship is. Go to the construction yard screen, and all colony ships are built on planets, not in space. It is about 37% complete right now, so we've got a little ways before that's done. Now the other thing is, different races have different planetary requirements, as you might expect. Our race, its native colony type is a continental planet. There's a lot of different types of colonizable planets, but all I can colonize right now is continental planets. There's another one in my system, which I'll eventually colonize. I'm not worried about it right now. Lava volcanic planets are a colonizable planet by some races. Desert planets are colonizable planets by some races. There's also ocean planets. There's 2 continental planets in our system. I didn't know that. There's ocean planets, marshy swamp planets, ice planets, ocean planets, if I didn't say that. About the only thing that cannot be colonized is, as you can guess, gas giants. And are they called barren planets or dead planets? And moons, by the way. Moons can be colonized if they're the right type. I'm sure there's one in our system somewhere, right? Do we have no moons in our system, really? Oh, there's a moon. Barren rocks can't be colonized either. Desert, icy, volcanic, continental, marshy swamp, oceanic are all colonizable. And you can we just completed crew quarters. Okay, well that's good. Research completed in crew quarters means each individual crew quarters we have on ships provide support for slightly higher. We started with support for 60, now we have support for 85 per module. So I can actually put fewer crew quarters and HAB modules, life support and HAB modules on per ship to sustain the same size of ship. You can research marshy swamp or continental or oceanic. You can research the desert was the other one. You can research the different types to colonize. And in order for me to get desert, I would have to research continental colonization, even though I'm native to continentals. That's not a big deal. Or the other thing you can do, well, there's 2 other things you can do. You can invade let's see if I can find one over here. I don't know what the type of race is. So that's continental, that's no good. Oh my god, somebody's beat me to a second colony. Oh boy, we have a race on our hands. Hey, they just had 1 colony when I just looked. That's the one we just discovered, and they had only 1 colony. What the heck? Freeantopia now has 2 colonies. They have beat me ever so slightly to colonization, it looks like. I think they're the same race as me too, so that they're continental. So we're going to be battling for continental planets here. Let me see if I can find somebody else that's not continental. They're continental. Oh my, this is going to be ugly here in the mid to late game when everybody's battling for the same planets. I don't know where their home planet is. Anyway, you can invade an existing race, and if you conquer that colony, you can assimilate that population type into your empire, and then that population type's special abilities and colonization capabilities become part of your empire as well. But right now, oh my, we have a whole lot of nearby continental type I didn't start any research. Hold whole bunch of nearby type continental races, which means we're going to be competing for those systems. We better improve our research capability here. And since we don't have any kind of countermeasure systems, we'll do that, and then we'll get coordinated control, which will lower our military ship maintenance costs. Okay, retrofitting is starting to be completed. Okay, Galactic Newsnet, our first Galactic Newsnet feed. Free Antopia Republic dormant Silver Mist has been triggered. Oh my lord. This is one of the storyline events. I'm playing with all of the expansion storylines enabled, just because I've never actually gone through and completed a game with any of the storylines, let alone all three. But one of the storylines is a dormant Silver Mist nanocloud has been triggered inside the ruins at the Itrian in the Eridos Junction system of Sector F6. The Silver Mist is a rather nasty nanite-based creature, which devours life. F6, and it is not all that far away either. I can only hope it does not move north. Unfortunately, it was the Antopians that triggered it, which means I am going to be staying away from the south, and I need to build up some sort of defense against it. Okay, it is October of year 18. We've barely completed a year. Okay, retrofitting. All of our ships in Fleet 2 are starting to come out of retrofit. Once they're done, I'll send Fleet 1 up for retrofit. Then I'll do all of my... No, then I'll do all my individual ships, retrofit them, and then I'll retrofit Fleet 1. Fierce Company, 1,400 a month. Now, the nice thing about retrofitting my fleet is my firepower is going to go up because I've added new weapons. Is that Fierce Company? They have 11 ships and 590 firepower, so I'm not worried about them. I'm not going to pay that much for their protection. So my Fleet 2 right now is a 519 firepower, 597 firepower. It's going up as they're coming out of refit. We got pirates. Go ahead. Fleet 1. Attack them. This is an independent. He's not part of a fleet, but he held up this ship long enough for my fleet to get in play. And there's another one. Okay, Fierce Company. They're the ones that just offered protection. They had 11 ships. They're about to have fewer than 11 ships. Our military advisors recommend that we attack the Dagobah mining station in the Dread League. Okay, let me see where that... The Dagobah system. Where is the Dagobah system? Decline that for now. Secret mission, steal the territory map. Now, we've already stolen their territory map a couple times. And they want Black Moon, and I already know they have no ships. They still have no ships. I think they're a smuggler faction. There's different types of pirates. Smugglers, extortionists. I think there's 4 different types of pirate factions. The smugglers generally don't have... combat ships to speak of. Oh, we got a badly damaged destroyer. It's got 1 damage and 3 disabled. It's got no hyperdrive. Okay. If I have a spare construction ship, I'll send it down to repair it. Since I have one free right now, I think it's even in system. Okay, we've got our gas mining station reestablished in that system. Okay, is 2 retrofitted yet? I think it is. Fleet 2 now has a 770 firepower. Let's take a look at our construction yards. Spaceport, all of its docks are empty. So yeah, Fleet 2 has finished its retrofit. So now we're going to retrofit all of our individual ships before we retrofit Fleet 1. Oops. Oh, cancel. Military. Actually, on automatic, will they not retrofit themselves? They might actually retrofit themselves. Let's see what they're doing here, if any of them are retrofitting. No, they're not. Okay. So we'll retrofit them individually. Should be an easier way to do this, but if there is, I'm not sure. I guess I could throw them all into a fleet, because it's easy to retrofit a fleet. I don't have that many, so I'll do it this way. And once these are all retrofitted, I'll put them back on individual patrols. And you can retrofit to different designs when you have multiple designs of a type. The Descartes was my newest destroyer type, so... And that's being repaired. Okay. So once those are all retrofitted, then I'll retrofit Fleet 1. Fleet 1 is starting out with a firepower of 770. We'll try to remember that. Territory maps offered, sure, why not? And new ships. We're not going to build new ships until all of our retrofits are done. We need to finish that colony ship and start on another colony ship ASAP. I can't believe somebody beat me to colonization. Well, yeah, I can. It usually happens. They're probably, are they the ones with the highest research too? Let's see. Perform the most research in the galaxy, 10%. Well, it doesn't say who actually... have the largest military. And you can see the different races. Like this one on the far right, the red, are the racial victory conditions. Start the fewest wars in the galaxy, keep your leader alive, control 30%, 33% of marshy swamp, and have the largest military. This is the same race as me. This is a different race. Start the fewest wars. Highest successful. He's at 70% for the highest number of successful intelligence. The young Corps have 10. And I'm somewhat... Oh, I also have 10. Okay, so I'm tied for that. And I have another intelligence mission going on right now, don't I? I don't. Okay. Which is my best espionage guy? This guy. We need to find some more of these races. So, who do we not know about as far as homeworld? Unknown, Keterov. Let's find out where the Keterov live. So we're going to target Keterov Republic, and we're going to steal territory map. And I'm going to take 3 months to do it. That's 85% chance of success. 1 month would be 71% chance. A full year would add 8% to 93. We're going to try to do it in 3 months. Now there's a chance he'll get caught, but I'll take those odds. 85% chance. Nobody else is showing any kind of expansion yet, so right now it appears to just be the one with 2 colonies. Our colony ship is still probably only about halfway done, maybe. Yep, just over halfway done. Okay, exploration ship completed its mission. There's a star with an asteroid belt, but no planets. That's the one way out there. Okay, how much fuel do you have left? You better refuel before you go off anywhere else. Let's take a look at the rest of my exploration ships. They're all good. Construction ships. There's one with no mission. I thought I gave you a mission. Got an attack going on. Oh, hey, we found a bunch of Savage Claws. I don't have a fleet quite that I want to send down that far out of my territory, however, so we'll just keep an eye on them. They're in my long-range scanner range. Okay, there's no needed resources by me, so galaxy priority on resources. Ooh, we want that Acris meat. That's one of the valuable luxury resources that we have no sources of. Let's see if it's within range of me actually. Oh, it is. I have a fleet there defending too, so we will queue a construction ship to build a mining station there. Since we're going to control this system here as soon as my colony ship is done, we'll go that route. No, we're not paying you protection. Yeah, that may be the first we've... Oh, no! Boom. Crash. Okay, well, I think it's time for me to stop anyway, because it is time for me to get something to eat. Fortunately, the autosave is set on a 30-minute interval, so we didn't lose too much. I'll pick this up. I don't know. Universe comes out in 2 days. Assuming the save is compatible with Universe, I might pick up the same game, or I might start a new game in Universe. I'll probably be back later on tonight with something as well, after I eat for a couple hours. Said Wednesday and Sunday are my usual long-term stream days. I do anywhere from 4 to 8 hours each day, with some odd times on and off on the other days as well. So thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Said if you're interested, matrixgames.com or Steam. This game will be available in 2 days on Steam. The full game, if you were to buy, I don't know. You know what? Let me pull up Steam real quick. I don't know what. I'm going to be able to get the expansion for $20, but if you were to buy the full game and all expansions, it's going to run close to $100. I do believe. Distant Worlds Universe, and if you get Universe, it will include all 4 expansions. Available 23rd May, 2 days, 1 hour. All the base game and all 4 expansions. It does not show the price, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be close to $100. Again, because it is the full package, or you can buy it in pieces. You can certainly play. The game was certainly playable after the first patch or two. The base game, Distant Worlds. They've just added more stuff with each expansion. Return of the Shakhtarai, I think, was the second. and that's probably, let's see, what most people that jumped into it late would do is buy the first one and the first expansion, and then slowly add the expansions as they were able to afford them. But I've really enjoyed the games since they came out. Like I said, they've been out since about 09. You can buy it on. You'll be able to buy it on Steam. They have achievements. That's interesting. I wonder what the achievements will look like. It doesn't show yet. Or you can go to matrixgames.com and buy it direct from their website. They have both digital and digital plus physical possibilities. But it's a really fun game. I really enjoyed it, and what you saw, like I said, it is still very early game. I started this game as a pre-warp civilization, which means I had no capability of traveling outside my starting star system. And as you can see, we're outside it now, but we're just now getting colony capability. So it's still very early in this particular playthrough. The game can get quite massive later on. And a lot of fun when you get multi-way wars and alliances and every defense pacts and all that. It can be a lot of fun. But like I said, I am going to take a break. Time for me to eat. I'll probably be back tonight for a couple hours. I just don't know what I'll be streaming this evening. I might pop this back in again. I have had a couple people pop in and out throughout this playthrough, so I might do this again. If you're interested,